Hello, I'm Jon Sermon, a church leader based in the UK and also with strong connections with Uganda. I'm speaking to you today on what is Remembrance Sunday here in the UK, a day when we particularly concentrate on the fact that our history includes the two world wars in which so many lost their lives in defence of values that we all still consider really important. And over and above that, of course, the time is now longer and longer since those two appalling wars, but there have been other times that our armed forces have faced danger in all kinds of places and circumstances since. And still today, there are families bereaved and people wounded, and including very recently. And on Remembrance Sunday, we concentrate on the phrase we often use, those who gave their lives in the wars. There's a sort of an important theme about the willingness to stand together for the benefit of the whole community, and even at the risk of death as the outcome. Now, in our service today, this morning, we also included the communion. Some churches will call it Eucharist or Mass or the Lord's Supper, where we break bread and share wine. Obviously, we all had to have our own because we're doing this through the internet, to symbolize the sacrifice of Jesus Christ on the cross. And you see there's a link here, isn't there? That in many ways, in many senses, our forebears, for some of us, our grandparents, great-grandparents, who were actually engaged in fighting in the First and Second World Wars, in many senses, they gave their lives for the benefit of others. But in an ultimate sense, the biggest, most significant example of that ever is that Jesus Christ gave his life. And even more so than those in the armed forces. If any of us were serving in the military in a time of war, we would know that there's a risk we may be killed. In his case, it was an absolute certainty. He chose to go to that cross for us. And that was a necessary sacrifice to pave the way for a complete restoration of the individual's relationship with God and our corporate relationship with God through forgiveness of all that we mess up. Along with that, our willingness to forgive others is important. In some senses, at the time of those huge international conflicts we were facing, our forebears were facing an enemy that was known, and in some senses, at the moment, we're facing an unknown enemy in terms of the coronavirus, COVID-19. And the need to pull together, and for some even to lose their lives, whilst as a whole we secure a better future for the rest of us. In some senses it's similar, isn't it? And we are in difficult times. We've been in difficult times before. At the times of the wars, the king at that time of the Second World War was involved in calling the nation together to pray. And huge gatherings in Westminster Abbey and other churches happened. This is very different because whilst we can call everybody to pray, and I believe we should, the option of doing it in a huge gathering is not there because of the need for keeping ourselves apart to slow and combat the spread of the virus. But coming together through the internet and coming together spiritually when we can't physically to pray and to rely on God and to know that He will carry us through this. That's encouragement. And I want to encourage you into prayer today. God bless you.